It feels like so much needs to be said with everything that continues to happen within this country and around the world. So many of us are tapping in to updated frequencies. And what I am most appreciative of is we aren't hiding anymore. We're not feeling like we have to have finished everything already, to have had this clean break from who we were to who we are becoming, to be able to speak on the journey, to be able to share in and with those people that are awakening as well and are trying to figure things out as we go. I am hopefully doing this for the month of March where I do my uncut gems and just talk. I've been on Substack a lot more lately. I just recently got on Threads, and I am also on Spill a lot more. I am doing my best to build safe, black as hell spaces. Bliggity black, black, blackity black, black, black spaces. And right from the places within me that feel the most authentic and feel free without any explanatory commas, without feeling like I have to go into detail about something that I am pulling apart in real time to be able to say that I deserve to speak about it. I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to talk about what matters, about what I care about what makes me get up every day, what makes me choose to keep going. I want to keep going. It's so much easier to pretend everything is figured out, to act as if perfection is on screen right now and anything outside of that is less. We are in a time where authenticity and imperfection is what's real. The buffing out and editing away of imperfections almost shows that this thing is more fake. And so many of us are beginning to just go, just talk, just try to make sense of whatever it is that we're trying to make sense of. And it's okay to not really know what you're doing. It's okay to continuously start from scratch and to attempt to make more and more sense of that which is nonsensical. But in your space, the space that you are building, the space that you are creating for yourself and those that you care about, and they are also in that space of making sensitive things that they were told initially had to be a certain way, had to be a certain linear way, and if they were not, that means that you're on the wrong path. You're doing the wrong thing. Somewhere you lost track of the things that were the most important, and those are the things that we understand. Those are the things that make the most sense. And majority of us are realizing that our lives make no sense. The chosen ones, the ones that have diverted off of the path that was originally crafted for them, those that have left religion, those that have left sacred spaces, those that have chosen a different pathway and are learning in real time that it is not a linear journey, but it ebbs and flows. It goes up and down. You stop, you start, you go all the way back to the beginning. You somehow bypass all of the stuff that you have learned along the way just to relearn it in a different capacity. Like, it's so many things, and we're going beyond, oh, this is the whack job, this is the nut, this is the one, don't make eye contact with that person, they just talking. It's now becoming more and more evident that you have to pay attention to the person that you once wrote off as being nonsensical, you once wrote off as being a little unhinged. And finding the balance between those two things. I think it's my mutable signness, and because I have it twice in both Virgo and Sagittarius being a mutable sign, I understand the ebb and flow of things. The survival mode in me that kicks in wants to have answers for everything, because I've had to think and build the thing as I'm falling from the sky in real time. Not having the answers can derail my progress in a lot of ways, and I have allowed it to do so because of that thinking. We are no longer in that space where we can afford to do that. Survival mode, especially if you live in this rank country, is all we know how to operate in right now. And especially if you look like me, it has been a constant for nearly 500 years. So now that we're in a stage of doubling back to try to figure out what we missed, and going back to the spaces that we were told to ignore because they were scary, it was because it came from the wrong messenger, it came at a time where you were not ready for it. Now we're doubling back and figuring out, what pieces of this do I need to take with me? What bones do I need to leave behind? And how do I recraft? How do I rebuild from what I have now? And go from there. And in a way, it is a instance of, if you build it, they will come. But it's also an instance of, build the thing that you really love and be okay with being in it alone for a while. Alone in your home, in your own little corner, in your own little chair. You can be whatever you want to be. So many of us are doing it alone for the first time. Many of our guides and our ancestors specifically are like, you know what it's like to build the thing from scratch. You know what it's like to have to build it as you're falling, as you're dropping. Every single time you have done that, it's become a little bit more easy. It's become, you're recognizing the patterns of when you do that thing, here's your response to it, versus here's your reaction to it. You're flailing. You're like, oh my God, not again. Here's this thing. And I just had that conversation with myself yesterday. So it is a constant learning lesson. And yes, there's going to be a time where you're like, oh, I finally get it. But then the implementation and the consistent implementation of it is where you can actually begin to go, okay, now we're making actual progress. Now that we are noticing the patterns of how we respond and react to the pattern, and what we did last time and how that didn't work in the way that we thought it would, or it didn't work at all. So now we have to do something different. That is where a lot of us are. Many of us have reached this space due to deconstructing, due to being introduced to any manner of manifestation techniques, however way you got it. How you was watching Woo Woo Girls on TikTok, on YouTube, however way you kind of entered into this space, and then you found your own. Many of us venture into these spaces because we're coming from often very toxic spaces. So we come in and we're shiny, we're bright, and we new, and we're ready to have things imprinted on us because we had this other stuff imprinted on us. So we need to balance. But what we often discover years later is that we kind of took off one set of chains for another, and the only person that can free us is us. The only person that can free our minds and our sensibilities about us is us, now having experienced all these other things around as well. Having experienced spiritual bypassing, having experienced, hey, this looked real familiar when I was in church, when I was in this other space. They're starting to look exactly like it, so how do I respond? Like, it's that sort of recognition and deciding to take a different route, deciding to do something different. I know that we love to attribute that quote to Albert Einstein, but allegedly he never said those things. But yeah, repeating the same thing, hoping for a different result. just flat out isn't going to work. It's not going to help you, me, anybody else. So in this time, as many of us are connecting and reconnecting for the first time to our guides, to our ancestors, we have a way clearer vision than we did 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Another pattern recognition thing is happening as well, because so many people in the beginning of 2016 were like, oh my God, 2016 feels just like 2026 feels just like 2016. It's like, girl, you don't... Do we remember how this started? So how about we don't repeat what we've seen for the last 10 years this time? And around that same time, I was venturing into my Saturn return. That year is the year I turned 29. And I can say a whole lot of things have changed this year as I'm turning 39. And I am hopeful. I really do believe that we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. As long as we continue to tap in. Not fearfully, not in desperation, not because we feel left behind, because other people have tapped in and we want to be like them. We're tapping in for our own sovereignty, for our own safety, for and how and in the ways that we now feel most representative of us, representative of how far we've come, where we want to go, and how we want our futures to look. Yeah, it can be lonely, but we are not alone, because there's way more of us than the entities and principalities, the people that would have us stay where we are, that would have us stay in a state of nothingness, in a state of terror. We're so much more. And we have so much farther to go. So now is not the time to flip back to the old patterns. Now is not the time to slow down. Rest, yes. But slow down on your healing, slow down on the work of deprogramming and sovereignty of self. Now is not the time to stop that, because all of these other things are demanding your attention. Be aware, but do not let it swallow you. We got swallowed in 2016 with everything that happened. We've grown barbs and things on our skin now that we will not allow life and the entities that it throws our way to swallow us again. We just won't. We've come way too far. And we've seen what it looks like on the other side. We've been given visions. We are acknowledging and listening to those visions now, and not just allowing it to become a passing thing. Have somebody else explain it away to us and tell us that what we saw is not what we saw. If you've been living in this country since January 20th, 2025, they have been telling you that what you're seeing is not what you're seeing. And they were hoping that you would believe them versus your lying eyes. But way too many of us have woken up. Way too many of us never fell asleep once we woke up. We didn't allow what was happening to lull us back to sleep. So allow us to come together. And I ain't on this, if you know me, I ain't on no kumbaya and we all gonna hold hands together. This is a very, very black message. As a black woman, as a very proud black woman, my messaging is for us and how we build and continue to build from everything that was toppled, that we toppled, that was toppled and taken from us, all of those things, that we continue to rise from ashes. That is what pisses them off the most, that we refuse to die. We refuse. We still have joy, and we're still digging past the things that have been cast on us to find our true meaning, to find our real reasonings as to why we keep fighting, and it's because it's just us. It is just what we do. We are fighters, but we're lovers. We are creators. We are people that continuously evolve. We are the blueprint. We are the lifeblood. That is who we are. And it will continuously piss off those who refuse to see that. But we are not in a stage where we need to defend reality to anybody. So it's going to be real black. And it's going to be real spiritual. Because that is where I am and that is who I am. And as more and more of us continue to tap in, don't stop the movement. Don't quit. And I'm saying that to me too. Don't quit. And let's just keep finding. And once we find it, rest in it. But that is something I'm learning. I don't have to be in survival mode. It is a choice. Oftentimes it is something that is a necessity to make sure that myself, my child, my home is safe. Survival mode isn't to be lived in fully, because eventually you have to let go of simply surviving and you have to live. So I am certain that I live. I thrive. I don't just simply exist, but I continuously evolve. And I grow, and I learn, and I keep learning. Consummate student. And I've seen too much to allow myself to think that it's not already mine. I've been shown that which I have prayed for, even when I didn't have the words. Even when it was angry, visceral tears. When I didn't even say it, but my skin and my spirit and my soul and all those things yearned for it. I've seen way too much to not have it in my hands. And in learning about timelines and quantum leaping and quantum physics and all these things, and there's a version of me that is already currently living that life, and I just need to tap in with her and keep it moving and not be so engrossed in the 3D that I psych myself out of what already belongs to me, even in the midst of the bull that we constantly deal with on a regular basis. I'm not going to be tricked out of my spot. Not anymore. I'm not going to be tricked out of my spot because it was easier to be nice. It was easier to give it to somebody else. Not even double it, just give it to somebody else. When it was always mine. It was always mine. So now I'm taking what's mine. I already have it. I am certain. I already have what's already there. Who is already there? What is already there? The money that's there, the home that's there, the car that's there, the connections and contracts and any and all of it is already there, and I'm already in possession of it. I just need to tap in. So in March, we're tapping in, and I'm coming every day for the month of March, and I'm just tapping in, and we're gonna do it in real time. We're gonna do it in real time. So yeah.